Alright, welcome back to the 17 known shortcomings of the Valley of the Dead King. And if you are wondering about this configuration, the rulebook does not say that they have to be connected. Okay, let's move on. So after a lack of guidance, pick a role in class, do it randomly, do whatever with circumstances, thematic or not. Traits, choose or do random. Team doesn't care. Solo, do true solo or two-handed, whatever. With true solo, you gain for destinations an extra dice set. The team just doesn't bother because it has been playtested once for 4 players and that's it. But don't worry, I'm gonna fix everything. The point 7 is the Dead King spawns in a city. This is not only not thematic, because the Dead King should thematically arise from a ruin. Ruins are... They are not here, but they have... there is no ruin in the initial placards, but it has a greenish hex border. And the Dead King should arise from a ruin. So even with that in mind, I would say it has been it should not start in the valley. That's just not thematic. It should have been resurrected from its coffin in a ruin by some foul ritual or something else that went horribly wrong. According to the storybook, I know the history of the Dead King, but how it is presented should be in a more thematic fashion. So the populace in the valley is aware of an impending Dead King, and things in the land are going afoul. But in the game, the Dead King is already here. Just make him appear in a ruin, or at least as far away as possible from the heroes, because he's doing his own thing. So give him the space to do his own thing. Okay, point 8. You can fix this. I'll show how. The fallen cities do not affect geography. Thematically, the Dead King gains speed after having consumed a city, but the city-state, being fallen or healthy, has no impact on the adjacent land. Especially the earliest fallen cities should affect more land around it than more recently fallen ones, because it has had more time to spread its in that plague. So the idea is that if you have a fallen city and the Dead King is deciding where to go next, that fallen city drains the energy from the land around it to power the Dead King. So with more fallen cities falling to the Dead King, it makes thematic sense for me, at least. It's natural that these cities empower the Dead King, and they drain the energy from the land around it. So the land around it should have some kind of negative debuff to the heroes, so they don't want to be around it and want to travel safely away from it. I'll show you how that is easily fixed later, and nobody mentions this. Point 9, fallen duration has no meaning. So falling from free to fallen, and liberating from fallen to healthy are binary instantaneous effects. So yeah, for liberating you do a combat and then it's liberated. This makes the Dead King a very localized thing. So this is a bit theoretical, but the Dead King, or the turning of a city, has zero effect on surrounding land. It would be better to have cities affect the land around it. The longer they remain fallen. So if this was the first city, it is the oldest. So the undead here are growing, and they are older. So there should be some kind of age. It takes hours to play such a game, and it would be nice if they would evolve a little bit. So thematically it has some kind of undead curse instantaneously felling a city, so lifting the curse should cure the surrounding lands equally fast, because the curse is lifted. So the fallen city has no memory, and this is a thematic shortcoming. I'll explain how to fix this in a very simple manner. Now, point 10, initial quest cards are uniformly random. It could be anything and can consist of only unattainable ones. So, you start with the cards A to D, and you may draw some extra hextiles. But here, those things are there are 5 slots for the quest cards. And the quest cards, I'll pick one. So the quest cards, they this is the quest cards. Okay, this is a bad example. So let's say, okay, you have C. Let's take, but you can say you have things like I and J and G and what else? H and K. Quest cards that are not present, or whose quest cards are present, but the destinations are not present on the game board. That means that you are forced, more or less, in order to gain something, you are forced to go to the edge of the map. It would be more, how do you say? They should be attainable. So your first quests should be A to D, because you place the cards A to D. Whenever you go to an outside part, so you go to the edge of the map, you draw an hextile here. Say that is hextile K, then you should add all the quests. So you should order the quests, not shuffle them. Take out the K quests and shuffle them in to the draw deck for the quests. So that's much better, and it solves the problem of having only unattainable quests. Let's see. Oh yeah, okay. Problem 11 is the initial encounter deck. The initial encounter deck, that's the thing on the other side. There are 5 cards drawn from the circumstance deck. It's uniformly random. It could consist of impossible to defeat enemies, with the added problem that uniform randomness kills any proper sense of an evolving world. So there could be already level 5 enemies over here. There are 2 level 5s. So level 5 and 2 level 5s and 3 level 4 enemies. And it would kill your progress. So why don't you put in the level 1s at first? There is no attention at all to the scaling that is there. in the book. There is an encounter deck leaflet inside suggests having the circumstance deck separated by a hex, by the hex, and to roll blind from face down non-encounter circumstance deck for 2 to 4. So let's see, that would be then this is the hex, so this is 2 to 4 should be non-encounter and face up, so like bad weather or something, and only a few should be available for encounters. But then again, it goes like, do whatever you like, make the game harder, then more encounters, but no guidance at all, which I discussed earlier, that there is no guidance, and there should be. Yeah, it mentions having more slots for the encounters 4 to 6 makes the game more challenging, but there's no bonus for this specified, so it feels moot, and I can't imagine anyone wanting to do this. So it burns through non-encounters cards too fast. Yeah, there are not many non-encounters because the deck is overrepresented. There are many more slots for non-encounters, and if you go through the encounters, then you burn through the non-encounters because they are overrepresented in the slots. So it needs addressing. Even so, it doesn't solve the lack of thematic connection to the any encounter crop up anywhere. And why would inclement weather be present when you are underground in the undervalley, for example, or in a city? Now, a more professional rule would be no encounter slot before city 1 fallen, use an extra slot for each fallen city, something like that. I'll explain how I solved it. It's very simple. Let's see. Yeah, slotting non-encounters into 2 to 3 and encounters 4 to 5 doesn't address how to include quest cards from the living card deck. Yeah, that's also a problem that is not thought through. They sell the living card deck, which I also have, but I can't use it because I'm developing a rule set for a base game. But there should be a slot for cards from the living card deck. So one of these should be